Right, so this one is a PlayStation 4 original. So that's the touchscreen model. Touchscreen? Yeah. You know what I mean. It's the touch sensor one. The 1003, so the first one. And apparently it's got no display. So let's have a look. Yeah, so it's currently on a blue light and we have nada. Nothing at all. I think the HDMI port's been changed, so... Well, it's on the blue light after the first white light, so that means it's checked the system storage and it should be showing the PlayStation logo and it's not. So, definitely no display. Right, well, first thing I'm going to do, because this is making a couple of weird noises, so the first thing I'm going to do is check the hard drive. I'll scan that. So I'll just have a look on the computer. Because it's making a couple of strange noises. Dun, dun, dun. Thank you. And 99%. Oh no, that's not the right one. Yeah, it's reading good. Which one was that one then? Oh, my own SSD. Okay. Yeah, so it's reading as good. It hasn't really had much life or much usage, so it's still got plenty of life in it. Beautiful, mate. Right, let's have a nose. Let's see what's going on. I'll clean that later on. Oh dear, what's someone done? What have they done? I see conformal coating missing. Someone's not doing a very good job. Ew. State of that port. Well, never mind. Let's have a look under the scope. See what we're dealing with, shall we? Do work. Thank you. Everything just works lately. It's kind of nice, I suppose. Doesn't look like the greatest, does he? Missing diode. Pin 15 diode missing. Just there. I'm not sure if it works without that. Right, let me just clean it up a little bit. There's a little bit of flux on there. I've got a feeling these pins are probably not connected, to be honest. We'll see. Let's grab some tweezers. So this port's been changed. So I'm just giving them the nudge test. 16's loose. 18's loose, that's 5 volt. Right, so we're a missing diode. And there's a couple of pins loose. Let me just check a few more components. I'll zoom out a little bit. There we go. Right, so meter in diode mode then. Red probe on ground. And let's check this diode here. 0.59, 0.58. Yeah, within range. Check that side of these pads. Within range. Yep. 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 Oh shit, you can't even see it. I've just checked all of these ones down the side here. I don't like that colour discoloration, and I don't like that either. I'm not keen on that. I don't think that's HDMI related. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's HDMI related. And the fuse is good. Yeah, fuse is good. Okay, so let's try replacing that diode first and touch up the pins. So let's get some flux. Where's my flux gone? There it is. I'll do this all at the same time. Just tin them pads. I'm just going to put a blob of solder there. And I'm just going to drag it over. Drag it back. And then get rid of the little blob. There you go. Right, clean it up. Get a cotton swab and some IPA. Let's give it a test. Make sure they're all good. Let's zoom in actually. I can visibly see that they're soldered now, but I'll still test them. Yep, I'm happy with them. I'm pulled it from the donor board, and now I can just drop it straight on. Safe, welcome. Evelyn, welcome. Emily, hello. Emily's my sister, by the way, guys. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Sadly, it's still got no display. So, it's going to be the encoder then. Right, so I'm going to heat this up in the corners. Pop. So I'll just put a little bit of pressure on it. There we go. So let's test the filters. I have got good diode readings on them, but even the heat alone of removing the shield could have done something to mess it up. So I've got the meter in beep mode. What's going on with my multimeter? I think my battery's dying. Okay, well, my battery's dying, but yeah. Alright, let me put my battery on charge. Filters are good, so very good chance that it's going to be the encoder. So let me just put my... Oh, okay, well, I guess the battery's not dead because it's working fine when I unplug it from the PC. Huh. Okay, now it's working. That's a bit weird. But yeah, that's working, so like, all the filters are working, so it's probably going to be the encoder. So I am going to make my life a little bit easier. And I'm going to add some solder. So I'm just replacing the solder with leaded. This chip's coming off anyway, so I'm not bothered about there being nice big blobs all over the place. Right, I'm going to get this chip off, and then I'm going to put a new one on. Well, it's not even going to be a new one, it's going to be a donut because I'm completely out of them. So I added leaded solder just to lower the melting temperature a bit. Get off it. There you go. So you see how easy it come off with leaded solder on there. And now I'm going to wick the pads away. I'm going to grab some braid. 3mm will do fine. I know I should have flux there to do this, but too lazy for that. Just wicking away those ground pads because I'm going to need to resolder them in a minute. Well, in a little while. So I'm going to grab a donor chip. There we go. This one might actually be a brand new chip, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to sit that down in place. I'm going to grab some more flux. There we go. Pop a bit of solder on the end of the iron. And just tack down the corners. Come on, solder, transfer. I could use hot air to flow it, but I'd rather not. So if I can avoid using hot air, I will. Actually, no, this is a donor chip. So there is a chance I can solder this chip and it won't work because it's a donor. Right, so I'll come back and clean them up a little while later, or in a little while rather. Because this is a donor chip, I've got to press down on the pins so as they sit flat. But once they're sitting flat to the board, I can just drag the solder over. Right, I'll just turn it. You've been fishing lately? Nah, not for a few weeks, mate. I haven't had the time, to be honest, bud. Way too much work to do. So I'm just pressing the pins down, make sure they're flat. And then as you see, the solder bonds. And now I can just clear all the bridges. I know this takes a little bit longer than flowing it down with heat, but it minimises the risk of damage to the chip if we're not using direct heat on it. So it is my preferred method. I can do it the other way, I'd just rather not. So I'm just literally going around, tapping the bridges with the iron, cleaning the tip, and then rinse and repeat. Eventually, it gets rid of all the bridges. It saves using wick as well. Right, let's clean it up and we'll have a look. See what it looks like. Isopropyl alcohol. Right, well, those pins are definitely soldered, but I'm going to check them anyway because I always check my work and make sure that it's good. I'll also check for bridges at the same time. So if I'm looking for bridges in a big row, I might not see one, but if I'm looking for bridges as I'm going across each pin individually, then I might see them, or I should see them at least, because I'm paying attention to that one specific pin. I should be able to see them without any issues. But they should all be soldered. But it just allows me to check my work. So even if something looks soldered, I'm still checking my work, because looks can be deceiving. Oh shit. Well, left my mark, I guess. As long as it didn't damage the trace, I don't care. Never mind. That's the problem when you're giving it the nudge test, but you've got to give it the nudge test to make sure it's all good. Yeah, it looks good, mate, but I mean, I've come across ports and stuff where they've looked good and then they've been completely loose. Yeah, I always like to check my work no matter what because it saves me having to go back and do it again. That extra 2 minutes to check the work could save you 15 minutes of assembling it and then disassembling it. Alright, I'm going to make sure I didn't damage that trace. Nope. No damage trace. Cool. So I used heat in this area, so checking the filters again because I used hot air to remove the port. And I'm actually going to, sorry, not the port, the chip. I'm just going to check for shorts to ground. They're all good. Okay. Right. No signal. I think that encoder's probably bad, which means I've got to do it again. That sucks. I mean, them chips cost, well, if you're buying from the UK, they're £25 a pop. If you're buying from AliExpress, they're 18. Well, they're not cheap chips. So, yeah, there's no point in having donut chips if I'm not going to use them. Problem is, some of them are bad. That's the only problem. Alright, I'm going to take my nozzle off, make it easier on myself. So I'll put that chip to one side because most likely it's bad. I'll do it the other method. Why not? Yeah, I'm not overly concerned about the port legs until I get it to actually display. Right, that should be in line. No, it's slightly out. Of course it's slightly out. Oh, it's out by one pin, an entire pin. What the? It's out by an entire pin. Ah, oh, you suck. It's in line on the other side. I must have slid it down one pin before it settled back in. Ah. should have gone to Specsavers. Yeah. Actually, let's clean up them legs now. Why not? I don't know how people do that, to be honest. Well, I do. I guarantee this has had the conformal coating exposed. Yep. Yeah, so I can clean it up a little bit, but... Wait, what kind of solder is that? Is that low melt solder? That's melting way too easy. Oh, I've got a really, really thin tip there, and that is melting far too easily. That's probably low melt solder. Which is probably a cheap low melt solder rather. It's really dull. Could well be. Yeah, that's melting far too easily. Look at it. I don't know what someone's done to it, mate, to be honest. They knocked a diode off as well. So it's had a diode missing. But yeah, that's melting way too easy to be normal solder. The tip I'm using, really I should be struggling to clean that up, and I'm not. Mechanic solder paste. Could well be. Yeah, there's only so much I'm going to be able to do with this without putting conformal coating on it, but it's all ground anyway, so I'm not overly concerned. If it holds the port firmly, it's fine. Yeah, I do like it to look okay, but well. Right, this drive's not plugged in, so it's going to make a weird noise. Let's just see if we get a display. Yes, we do. We do indeed. Bear with me. In fact, I can do it on here. I'll do it on the capture card. There we go. Yep. Cool. We get a display so I can service the rest of the console. Lost your audio. Audio's fine, mate. I haven't got the mic plugged in. Whoops. Sorry, I have got the mic plugged in rather. So it was a bit quiet. I didn't have it connected to my chest. But that was just so I had free movement because I'm not on wireless mics. I will be in a minute. Once I do the next job. Yeah, I've sorted it now, Jason. Sorry, mate. Right, I'm going to go and grab another job and another coffee. And Sarah is going to kill me because I have got 5 cups in my workshop. 1, 2. Don't let Sarah see this. Look at this. Sarah's going to batter me. Sarah's going to kill me. Oh well.